This is Steampunk Willy, formerly known as Willy Protegè, and originally familiarly known as Whitebread on Wheels. I've had him for about 7 years now, I think. It's hard to say. Some time back I started to operate a appliance repair business, and Willy Protegè was put to purpose as a tool carrier and parts carrier, service vehicle, etc. Now, over the years, he's had very little to complain about. In the early days, I built this tool caddy for the boot to protect the lining and to carry some of the basics, and also stop stuff sliding around, because I'm nothing if not a spirited driver, and the last thing you want when you arrive at a job after flogging down a dirt road is to lift the boot, find your tools everywhere. Recently I acquired this vehicle for the same purpose. It's a VS Series 3 Commodore Ute, in reasonably good, pretty good condition actually. There's a couple of things I didn't like about it, which I've half fixed. It had lowered suspension, not super low, just standard lowered suspension, and these stupid VZ mags, which are wider and off track inwards to the extent that during uneven axle articulation they rub on the inside a bit, make squeaky noises. Also, the lock-up torque converter doesn't work. As you can see, there's heaps of room in the boot of Willy Protegè, aka Steampunk Willy, a name he acquired recently after a couple of encounters with objects, rocks, fences, that kind of thing, necessitating the repair using zip ties, and the art form steampunk was applied. That'll do for now. I'll load the boot up and we'll talk some more. I've recently found myself pondering the question, crikey, do I need that light on? I've recently found myself pondering the question, which is a better service vehicle? Now obviously you'd think utility, service vehicle. You wouldn't think family sedan, service vehicle. But in reality, there hasn't been a lot of downside to Willy Protegè, and there's a bit of downside to the VS Ute. Obviously the most obvious problem is access to the deck, the tail, the tray, which is currently covered up with a tarp, as opposed to just turning a key and lifting a boot and getting ready access to everything. You've got to undo all the hooks on the tailgate on the ute to get access to the tray, remove tools, etc. Parts, as opposed to just opening a back door or something. You might think, oh, what about large objects? Well, I have had a dishwasher in the back seat of this car, Willy Protegè, in a box in its packing, in its original packing, and it's possibly not the greatest thing to have to shove something into the back of, but I fitted a full-size dishwasher in there in its original packing, and for a changeover, and managed to get one back in, bring back. So actually it's not a lot, not a real downside to loading things into the back seat. You might have trouble with a whole washing machine, although a small one would fit. We don't like to take stuff back to our workshop anyway because it just gets in the way, so it's a minor inconvenience. 4 15-inch wheels have been added to it recently, the Willy. Brand new Dunlop tyres. It really does hang on quite well. All the suspension's in good working order. Back's a bit doughy maybe. Yeah, back shock's a little bit soft, but you get that. Now this thing over here, he's got 4 new GT Gas Munro Wiley shocks. The front end's still sporting the FE2 equivalent King's front springs. I got rid of the King springs off the back because it was easy. I haven't got around to doing the front yet. Basically, if you ever want to know how to fuck up a perfectly good car like a VS Ute or a Holden Commodore sedan or wagon, lower it. It will be obnoxious. Willy Protegè here. Willy Protegè here can launch himself over traffic calming islands at 80 k's an hour and barely rattle the tools in the boot. I tried it in the Steel Pig and it scared the shit out of me. I literally I thought I'd broken stuff and everything. I dare say, fitted with the correct front suspension, nothing heavy duty, just your normal. I got a set of Calais springs for it, that it too will conquer traffic calming islands without much fuss. But at the moment it's a little bit horrible. Now the trouble is, somebody spent $1,000 on the suspension of this and I'm only keeping 500 of it. So if anyone who wants a set of FE2 equivalent King springs for a VS Ute, just give me a call and I'll send you a video of me cutting the bastards up with an angle grinder.